Neal Brown officially fired by West Virginia, but was that the right move? This is an emergency Locked On Big 12.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome into Locked On Big 12. I'm Drake Toll from America's #1 Big 12 podcast, Locked On Big 12. Thank you for making this show your first listen every single day. Neal Brown is gone at West Virginia. This is not shocking whatsoever, but for somebody like me who is driving from the game between Iowa State and Kansas State back home, sitting at a quick trip right beside the China Plus buffet that has seafood, sushi, and more, unexpected timing. I thought this was coming a couple of weeks ago. And then after the game, I thought we'd hear murmurs last night that Neal Brown is gone. And to be honest with you, from burner accounts to actual reporters, I haven't known what to believe from West Virginia Twitter. Because one tweet is, that's it, Rich Rod is in. The next tweet, Nick Saban is in. The next tweet, Jimbo Fisher is in. The next tweet, Neal Brown is staying and Ren Baker wants him at West Virginia. That was the prevalent idea over the course of the last couple of weeks, was the administration wasn't going to fold here. They were going to leave Neal Brown in place. So if the question is, was this the right move? Did Neal Brown need to go? The answer, the reason I'm sitting in a car right now, still talking about this topic, is because it's a very important and resounding yes. I've heard it all week. Nice guy, good dude, great for the program off the field, great for the state off the field. Can I ask you this? Was Neal Brown ever West Virginia? There are coaches, there are characters who will stop at a school like West Virginia who, by the way, if you only played with the in-state kids, wouldn't win a football game. I'm from Valonia, Arkansas. I know it. I know what it's like for football to dominate an entire state where you've got to go out of state and recruit kids. And when you bring those kids in, your football program should still represent what West Virginia is, what Arkansas is, what even a South Carolina is. Was Neal Brown ever West Virginia? Was it ever? Yep, that's a guy who's got this coal miner blood. You see the corny music videos he made at Troy, and he's kind of got this cool dad vibe, and they pour the mayo on his head, but I never got the representative of an entire state, a representative of what West Virginia is and needs to be. And that's the kind of head coach you want in Morgantown. Neal Brown wasn't that. So nice guy, sure, we can beat that horse dead. But I saw a quote the other day, God doesn't exist between the hash marks. There is, nice guy, charitable, cool, a man who had altruistic beliefs and would give you the shirt off his back is great. But if you don't perform from white line to white line, end zone to end zone, if you don't win football games, you can't be a coach at the Power 5 level. You can't coach at West Virginia. How do you go this long? It was like a grift when West Virginia won the bowl game last year and they had to keep Neal Brown at 9-4. It's like, has he turned it around? No, the answer is no. How do you justify spending this much time, 6 years at West Virginia, going 37-35 at a school where a whole lot of football coaches have had a whole lot of success, and then 6 of those wins were FCS? You were 31-35 against FBS opponents. Well, surely you won some top 25 games. Nope. You didn't beat a single team who finished ranked in the top 25 at the end of the season. Surely, through 6 years, you beat a team that finished the season with 8 or more wins. Yeah, you did. One time, Army, who won 8 games. You didn't beat a single school that finished the year with 9 or more wins. That is tough to do over the course of 6 years. You were not ranked one time. So I go through tweet after tweet, podcast after podcast of nice guy, great dude, just wasn't the right fit. Sure, I wish him the best too. But there were truly pitiful moments this season at West Virginia. And look, my grandmother is salt of the earth. Love her to death. Spectacular human being and a great cook. I wouldn't let her come close to coaching West Virginia football. And 10 wins, 3 years in a row at Troy. This wasn't a terrible hire when it was made in 2019. A hiring class in the Big 12 that has one guy left. It's Chris Kleiman. This wasn't the worst hire in the world. Cool. The guy's won at the mid-major level. Finally is ready for his shot. Turns out he wasn't ready. And now Ren Baker gets his first chance to make a coaching hire. Bud. That 3-17, by the way, against top 25. And that was top 25 people who were in the top 25 teams that were in the top 25 at the time of winning. Bad. 0-10 in his last 10 against those. Now, if you're Ren Baker making your first hire, you start picking up the phone, and Rich Rod is in the office. Jimbo Fisher is in the office. Nick Saban gets a phone call. Would Nick Saban ever go to West Virginia? The answer is probably no. We'll speculate about that over the course of the next couple of weeks, I guarantee it. The answer is probably no. Would Jimbo Fisher? The answer is probably yes. Would Rich Rod? The answer is probably yes. And I don't care if none of those three guys are hired at West Virginia. Ren Baker, this is your opportunity as an athletic director who, by the way, we come in close here, West Virginia fans. I understand you've lost a little rapport with Ren Baker through this whole process. You're sitting there waiting like, dude, make a call, make a decision, do something. The leadership has felt lackluster, and all of the rhetoric has been Ren Baker supports him, Ren Baker supports him. Well, if you support what's been happening at West Virginia, you are very unserious about athletics. And that has been the case. For an athletic department who is just now making a move, if I'm a fan, I'm still just a little hesitant about what's going on here. Also, I'm in my car, and so there's like a creepy guy who just walked past the window. But it's this important that we talk about what Ren Baker has to do, and it's get those three guys in his office. And if you don't hire any of the three, that's fine. But you've got to get them on the phone. You've got to give them a shot. You've got to give them an interview. Because the state of West Virginia athletics, and you saw this in the bright moments from Bob Huggins, deserves a coach who represents what it means to be a Mountaineer. Deserves a coach who represents Morgantown and the state as a whole. Nick Saban, born and raised, baby. Jimbo Fisher, a West Virginia guy. Rich Rod was the face of West Virginia for a very long time and won football games. And you know what? If you hire one of those guys and it doesn't work out, no one in the state is going to be upset at Ren Baker. I sure wouldn't be. You did it. You took a chance. Kansas State went back to Bill Snyder. He comes in and Snyder wins again. You gave the old guy who's the legend a chance. The local guy who could turn it around again, maybe. And you know what? If he doesn't, they're still West Virginia legends. Scott Frost getting to go back to Nebraska, right, where he played. I know it doesn't always work out, but at the end of it, he's still a native son. Josh Heupel getting fired at Oklahoma, still a native son. If it doesn't work out, you made a decision that makes everybody in the state happy to be a Mountaineer again. This athletic department needs a move that is based around what West Virginia is. And at the root of what West Virginia is, it's not just hardworking, it's the payoff of winning that comes from that hard work. That's what West Virginia is winning. It's synonymous. I remember when LSU played at West Virginia, it was huge. And West Virginia was still a kind of a mid-major, or whatever you want to call it. And now that luster has gone away. And you can't, for a storied program like this, you can't have that. Ren Baker, I'm going to trust you. Let's see how it does. Neal Brown, thanks so much. This has been, it always will be, Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Dose Grande.